I was born in a very rural part of the country. These agricultural landscapes and the machinery and the equipment that goes with that was an early influence on the work, and I think still kind of permeates the work. So this piece called Ialu is probably from about 10 years ago, from this body of work kind of looking at fields. The visual of the motion of tall grass in the wind. You never see the wind, you always see the effects of the wind. But also for me a sort of calling to mind of the front end of a harvester or a reaper, and the way that this machine enters a field and sort of like cuts the grain down and processes the grain. I don't think of it as a robot creating art. These are no more robots than just sort of like atoms that are moving through space right now. This is just a sort of device that helps visualize or record that phenomenon. So it appears inorganic, but it's actually quite organic. But the heart of it really is controlled chance, that you create a barrier and it makes some selections in terms of color. Some of my favorite moments are like in the corner. This is like the highway road map business of LA. All of the woodwork is done by hand here in the studio, and I guess the obvious gap in that would be the found objects. This is the same model typewriter that my grandparents had when I was young. Ah, it's already on. This was a commissioned piece. So it's typing the sentence, "I will not talk in class." As I was looking at it, the cornet is the model of typewriter, but a cornet is also a musical instrument. Turned it on for the first time, and there was also all this sound that was coming out of the very imperfect mechanism that I had built. That's not to be done away with and solved, it's to be embraced and sort of grown as part of the content of the work. Sound is really essential for these pieces. You know, a lot of times the sound is not necessarily a really pleasant tone. The idea that the unpleasant thing and the pleasant thing are originating from the same mechanism kind of mirrors like the idea of life and death not being opposite things, but sort of two sides of the same thing. I think at the end of the day, it's too much work to do unless you love it, and so a part of it, I think this is something that connects all creative people, but there's a certain compulsion, like I can't not make the things, and for the most part, I'm making the work that I want to see in the world, and there's a hope that making that work leads to opportunities for conversation.